Good afternoon, Ovation Nation, and welcome to another Pokemon Sword and Shield set video. In this video, we are going over the very cool Pokemon Toxtricity. Now, I'm excited to go over this Pokemon because this is actually one of the Pokemon that I'm currently breeding for my team. My thought process is that I'm going to have my first VGC episode on this channel on Monday. I'm going to be streaming a bunch of VGC battles on the battle spot, hopefully by Sunday. So if you guys don't already follow my Twitch, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. Hit the notification button as well, so you guys know that you're not gonna miss this. But back to the Pokemon, here we have Toxtricity, the poison electric type. Now, Toxtricity is super interesting because it has two different types that it can be. We'll get into those a little bit later, but those types kind of have like a similar process that goes about using them. They both have the access to the ability Punk Rock, which boosts sound-based moves and halves damage from sound-based moves. Now, that's going to be the ability that we're looking at for the majority of this video, if not the whole video, because the other two abilities don't quite do too much justice to it. The second ability that it gets is either plus or minus, and then the hidden ability is Technician, but Technician, it doesn't have that many, moves that it will actually have a good Technician boost with. So we're just going to focus mainly on Punk Rock here. But looking at the typing, we have a weakness to ground and psychic, which is not bad at all. The poison electric type is actually a very good typing. I mean, granted, the ground weakness is 4 times, but if you're that worried about ground types, just run a flying Pokemon with it, run a levitator with it. You can even stick an air balloon on it. You have a lot of options here. But psychic, also pretty scary typing, but it's only those 2 typings that you have to worry about, and you can hit things super hard. Some very relevant typings that you can hit, like a water, flying, fairy, grass, like very relevant typings here, especially the fairy, water, and grass. Like to hit a fairy with a super effective move and super effective stab is like really relevant in this meta. So, or like this bare bones meta, there's not really much of a meta right now, but you guys know what I mean. But another thing that's pretty cool about this typing is that although you only have 2 weaknesses, I mean, along with the fact you only have 2 weaknesses, you also have so many resistances. It's ridiculous how many resistances you have. You have electric, grass, fighting, poison, flying, bug, steel, fairy. It's so many different typings that you are resisted to either 2 times or 4 times. So it's like, damn, man, this is an interesting typing, and I think it's exclusive up until this point as well, so that makes it even more interesting. Now, looking into its stats, also I should mention that it has no immunities, but with that many resistances, do you really need immunities? Now, looking into its stats, this is where the Pokemon kind of disappoints me a little bit, because the stats aren't too hot. I mean, you have 75 HP, it's okay. 98 attack, pretty high, but then the defenses and the special defense are base 70, which is a little bit disappointing. It's not frail, it's not tanky, it's just kind of that weird in-between tier. But then the special attack is 114, so you probably have probably have a lot more attack than you really need, but you can run a physical set with this mon, which I'll get into later in this video. But for the purpose of this video, I think for the most part you're gonna want to run a special attacking set, and then your speed is base 75. So yeah, like I said before, you're that awkward middle tier where you're like slower than a Gyarados, not faster than a Kangaskhan. I mean, you're slower than a Gyarados, you're faster than a T-Tar. It's kind of that weird in between. But yeah, that's the stats for you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the differences between its 2 forms. Now, if you guys didn't know, it does have 2 different forms. It has the amped up mode, and along with that, it also has the low-key mode. The 2 different forms are determined depending on the nature that the Pokemon has. The amped up mode is the Pokemon will be amped up if it has one of the following natures: adamant, naughty, brave, bitter, lash, rash, sassy, hasty, jolly, and knave. That'll give it the amped up mode. And then if it's going to be a low-key mode, it would have the nature lonely, bold, relaxed, modest, mild, quiet, calm, gentle, careful, timid, etc. Now, from looking at these natures, you can kind of tell that for the most part the physical natures are the amped up mode, and then the special natures are the low-key mode. So a lot of the sets that we're going to be looking at today are going to have the low-key mode on them, or like the low-key form on them. but it's not going to matter much because the differences between the forms are very, very minimal. Like the differences are literally this. Amped up mode gets access to shift gear, which is very interesting. It's a very good move, actually. You get a +1 in attack and a +2 in speed. It was exclusive only to a few Pokemon, Clang Clang being like the first one that comes to mind. And you also get access to Venoshock, which is also another very, very good poison type move. And then the low key mode gets access to magnetic flux and venom drench. Now, all in all, cool, whatever. The sets that I am including, they don't really care because I don't use those moves that much. I mean, if we're gonna look at it on paper, then yeah, amped up mode seems like the it receives the better of the two. But none of the things I'm going to be using even like matter what form I'm on, to be entirely honest. So we're just going to go ahead and get into the first set that I have for you guys, the Choice Scarf Toxtricity set. Ability Punk Rock, EVs 4 HP, 252 special attack, 252 speed, Timid Nature. Now this is an interesting set. Like I said before, it does have an awkward speed tier, a speed tier that I don't like too much, where you're kind of not the fastest, not the slowest, so you can't really specialize in either being too fast or too slow. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I want to make it be in a more relevant speed tier by giving it the Choice Scarf, and it also gets access to a move to moves like Volt Switch, so you could have a pivot, and also gets, you know, the super effective stab, Sludge Bomb. It also gets access to Boomburst, which gets boosted by Punk Rock, and access to its exclusive move Overdrive, which is a kind of like an electric hyper voice, which also gets boosted by its ability Punk Rock. So this Pokemon's gonna be hitting like a truck. This is my ideal special set. The only other thing I could see you doing in this set would be maybe replacing Boomburst with something like I don't know, Snarl, because Snarl will get the same Punk Rock boost. But I like Boomburst just, you know, for Pokemon that resists electric, so you have something to hit a ground type with. You can go for Boomburst instead. It's like a little bit better, obviously. But that's just my idea behind the set. Just get to that speed tier to where you're more relevant, and in case you're in a bad matchup, just Volt Switch out. Very simple. The next set that I have is actually the set that I'm breeding for. It's the Throat Spray set. Ability is the same. I mean, Punk Rock is going to be the ability throughout all of these sets. But the Throat Spray is the interesting item. If you guys don't know Throat Spray, every time the user uses a sound-based move, they get a +1 to special attack. So that is good, because most of my moves are like sound-based moves, and on top of that, I also have an ability that boosts the damage of my sound-based moves. So I'm going to be going for sound-based moves, getting a +1 to my special attack, going for sound-based moves again, getting another +1, etc., etc., and then just it becomes such a small power creep to the point where it's probably hard to deal with given the accurate support for this Pokemon. Now, Nature's the same, Timid Nature. Instead of this time, we don't have Volt Switch. We just have Boomburst, Overdrive, Sludge Bomb, Protect. Like I said, Boomburst you can replace for Snarl if that's like what your go-to is. If you want like something that's more confident, then getting -2 on both of your opposing Pokemon is definitely very good. But that's just my idea behind that set. Just Overdrive or Boomburst spam. If you see a fairy, do Sludge Bomb, and then just keep getting those throat spray boosts until like you're just ridiculously strong. Now the following set I have is a different set. This is my physical set. This is the only set that's gonna be an amped up form, because I am gonna run the Jolly Nature here, and I'm also running a Focus Sash. So I'm running Jolly Nature Focus Sash with Thunder Punch, Shift Gear, Gunk Shot, Protect. Now, the reason I'm not running Wild Charge is because I'm running a Focus Sash, and there's no point of a Focus Sash if you're just going to lose your attack right up. And, I mean, not your attack, lose your health by using a move, by using your stab move. So I decided to opt for Thunder Punch here. The whole premise behind this set is to first turn Shift Gear. If they hit you, you live on a Sash, and then, or at least you live on a Sash, and then after you have +1, +2 in speed and attack and speed, then you can kind of go for Gunk Shot and destroy anything. The only problem with this set that I don't like is that it makes zero use of Punk Rock, but there's no other ability that really works. I mean, I guess you can go +- if you really cared that much, but all in all, whatever. I mean, you could also go, I was thinking about running a Native Nature, with a Boomburst. That way you could still have, and then you, instead of the 4 HP, you'd put 4 in special attack. That way at least you could still make a little bit use of the Punk Rock. But I just thought Protect would be overall better, and just say, oh well, we don't use our ability, but we're still hitting like a truck because we still have access to Shift Gear, which is like just the steel type dragon dance. Super duper good. Another problem with this set that I do want to mention is that Gunk Shot's not 100% accurate. You might miss it. It's a very strong move, but it's not accurate. And then this set also puts you susceptible to Intimidate. So that's the other problem with this set. This set, out of all of the 3, is probably my least favorite. My second one, my most favorite being the Throat Spray, and then the Choice Scarf in the middle. But all in all, this Pokemon does have a bunch of notable moves. If you guys want to leave me sets down below, these are just some of the moves that I saw, and I didn't really stick into a location, but it does have access to, and I think they're all really good. So we have Discharge, Poison Jab, Overdrive, Boomburst, Shift Gear, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Drain Punch. It's a lot of elemental punches now that I'm looking at it. Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Wild Charge, Gunk Shot, Throat Chop. Okay, now if you guys did enjoy this Toxtricity video, make sure to leave a like and comment down below. If you guys are excited for VGC returning to the channel on Monday, then go ahead and leave a like and comment as well. Please let me know your sets down below. There are a couple people that did show me some sets for Grimmsnarl that I really liked. There was like this Bloodsucker Grimmsnarl set, so I might actually think about making that one because it was really interesting. So like I said, if you guys have any sets for this Pokemon that you want to let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ovation. Hope they did enjoy. Peace out.